Hi everyone, this morning I'm talking to Katrina Emmerson and she's running in the South Australian state election in the seat of Hurtle Vale. Hi Katrina.
Hi Lisa, how are you?
I'm good. Do you want to perhaps just introduce yourself a little bit, tell people about yourself, and then we will have a bit of a chat about your electorate and some of the things that are important to you this election.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, not a problem. I am South Australian. I'm actually born in Sydney, but SA's been my home now for many, many years, about 30 odd years. Married, and I have a teenage daughter. And yeah, I had no interest in politics whatsoever until COVID. And then slowly, my interest, increased because of all the things that I was seeing, and I don't like the direction our state and country is going. So I put my hand up, and I was lucky enough to be endorsed, and within the electorate that I live.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you're hoping to change should you be elected?
For me, one of the big ones is local government reform. They've been unaccountable and not transparent with how they spend our money, what they spend our money on. And when you look around, and I've looked around, lived here now for, 14, 15 years, the maintenance of the roads, the footpaths, even the grass on the medium strips, everything's been let down. It's like they're lazy. They're lazy. And to get anything done, they make you wait, and it's just so much of a massive process. So I would like to see that change. I would like them to go back to basics and look after our parks, our community, the roads, and forget about all the political activist type things, and that they've sort of taken a direction towards. The other thing, schools, the curriculum, we need to go back to basics. Our kids are finishing school, and their math skills are literally non-existent. I feel sorry for the young kids that are at the checkout, and you hand them cash, and even with the computer there, they still struggle to put the change together for you. And you see the look of stress on their faces, and that's not fair. And we need to get back to the fundamentals of education. And yeah, and there's a lot to deal with. What else is the aged care? There's a lot of, I have friends who've bought into a retirement home, and because of all certain facilities, and all those facilities were gone within the year. And again, if someone needs help, rather than having a nurse on site, they've got to call the ambulance. So that automatically increases, the issues we've got there. So there is quite a bit. There's quite a bit.
For the people listening, what what area do you cover? So Hurtle Vale,
It
are you down
covers,
south?
yes, and it is Ranella East, a little bit of Happy Valley. Then we come back down south, Woodcroft, um, Onkaparinga, a bit of Morphett Vale. So Onkaparinga Heights, Hackham, Hackham West, and Huntfield Heights. So it's a fairly broad area down south.
Okay. So is some of that area, because I'm not from down that way, so would some of that area be a little bit more regional and then some be more city, or is that
Uh,
mostly it's
uh,
it's quite
it's pretty suburban. When you start going to Onkaparinga Hills, that's where you sort of start heading into the hills. So we're not far away from there, but we're only what used to be 45 minutes from the city, so it's not too far. Obviously, with congestion or people, it takes longer to get from here to there. But yeah, so we are literally classified as suburban.
so health service wise, what kind of hospitals do you have down there? I know Flinders, I don't really know much beyond that. So Do you have the
We've
health
got
services that you need?
Yeah, we've got Noarlunga Hospital. So, and that caters for, there's an increasing population down this way. There's houses being built all the time, a lot of development. But I don't think, even though the hospital itself has undergone a recent refurbishment, I don't think it's adequate for the amount of people that are in the area. And getting into doctors, we've got a fair few medical centres around, but still, if you need to see a doctor, you have to wait, and then it costs quite a bit of money too. I think last time I went to the doctor, it cost me about $109. Mind you, I did get a rebate, but still, it's a lot of money. And then I had to wait 2 weeks, so you almost have to make an appointment to be sick.
Yeah, it's getting hard, isn't it? And then, of course,
It is very hard.
people are struggling with cost of living, so factoring in to have to pay for a doctor's appointment makes that hard. What about aged care facilities down your way? Are there enough aged care facilities?
Look, I don't think we can ever have enough aged care facilities, to be honest. We're an ageing population and we're just not keeping up with aged care facilities. I did hear, I found out yesterday, the McLaren Vale Hospital, which is not my electorate, it's the one further down into Mawson. There was the McLaren Vale Hospital, which was full of, it was specifically for the elderly, for aged care, and they closed it. I think it was November 2023. So I don't think there's anything being done. The facility's just closed, but I don't think, I can't see and understand why you would close that when, that's what we need. That's what we need.
Well, and it's being reported that there were so many aged people in the hospital
I
taking
know,
beds.
exactly, and we sort of we're sort of just putting them there and forgetting about them, really. And then you've got others, people with mental health issues, and that's another big thing. It takes so long to be assessed these days, and expensive, and then you've still got to wait to see a psychologist. And what do people do in the meantime? They go to the hospital.
Yeah, and I'm hearing about the struggle that people are having just to get their young people in for mental health appointments. And that's so important.
It's crazy, and it takes far too long. I was speaking to a young lady who's come on board as a volunteer. She's 20, and she sees a psychologist twice a year, and it costs her $495, she said, each visit. And I, for the life of me, cannot justify that amount of money. Surely, I mean, I understand they go, psychologists, they do a lot of work and study, but surely, that's, and who's got that money? And and if you're going to start foregoing things, that's one of the first things you don't. And then what happens to our kids?
People have to make a choice between food and electricity or appointments. And at the end of the day, what are they going to pay first? Yeah,
absolutely. Even my electricity bill has gone up because I used to pay weekly, and it was just easier, and gone from $35 a week to $110, and that's in 3 years.
Yeah, I've recently received some electricity bills myself, and the thousands of dollars are just ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. And then you've got there is the push for net zero, which is just one of the factors fueling everything, the increasing cost of living, and it's unreliable. I mean, we're in SA, we have very hot summers and sometimes long summers, and how many times do you hear of blackouts? And try telling people to reduce their use of the aircon in the middle of a 45-degree day, and it's like, that's not good enough. Not in these times. It's not good enough.
Yeah, I think it was only just this last week, isn't it, the York Peninsula that's been out of power.
Oh,
but
yeah,
really
yeah.
quite
And that,
lengthy time periods. Yeah.
yeah, we had two little ones yesterday and the day before, but still, the York Peninsula. And what do these people do? The businesses, they lose all the stock. You know, they've got no choice but to close.
Yep. And then you make insurance claims, and then your
Oh,
payments go
and
up
then
for
our
insurance.
insurance, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all end up paying for it, so it's not, um, just one little area. We all pay for it,
Yeah,
everything.
for sure. So when you're out talking to the community, what are the key things that you're hearing from the community?
Um, the, our political parties are not listening. They're not listening to people with regards to everything, to how they're spending our money, schools. There are so many people complaining about, what's taught in schools. And I had one lady who said to me that now there's a school down south, a little bit further from me, who, because a child identified as a boy, sorry, as a girl, it was a boy, they can use the toilets now, the girls' toilets, and they were a bit, scared. And you've got to understand too, it's the age. You've got, they're embarrassed, and they want, you're a girl, you want to go down that part, like into the toilets, like, and I don't know why there's that push. Um, Bullying is another big thing. Parents have said to me they're just not listened to, and they're actually made to feel like they're the whingers and the bullies themselves, when all they're trying to do is protect
Yeah.
their children. That's, and then, you've got electricity, you've got people, I've seen people along the rail line in tents, and, it's heartbreaking. It really is.
Yeah, I often get the train into the city and from out north,
Yeah.
and I just can't believe every time I go down there, there's another tent. There's another
Mm.
shelter being put in the trees, and there are more and more people sleeping rough.
Oh, no. And I mean, the other thing, we've got so many empty public houses, like in Adelaide. If they've been, some of them have been actually empty for many, many years. So I would like to see either they get fixed up enough to, house some families and some people. And if they're not fit for purpose, get rid of them, build something else. And I know the other thing, everything takes so long. And I'm sure, unfortunately, I did hear the MP for this area say that these houses are not modern enough. But I think if you have the choice of sleeping out on the street, or at least having a roof over your head, I know which one I would take. And I just think that that's a bit of a cop out. Like, let's fix them up.
Yeah, I think back to growing up. Most of us didn't have air conditioning.
No,
Most of us didn't have three TVs,
no.
um, games rooms, rumpus rooms, butler's pantries. We probably had the best childhoods ever.
Oh,
And
yeah,
we
yeah,
didn't need all those new mod coms. And why can't we provide homes to people? We have a lot of empty houses out north as well. So why
yeah.
can't we give these houses a paint job? Most of them have got three bedrooms out here.
Yep,
Clean them
I
up,
agree.
and people move in. People choose between a fan or air conditioning.
It's exactly right. It,
It's
it, it
Most people
yeah,
don't need all the mod cons, but it's a home for them. The kids are not sleeping in cars. The kids are not sleeping in tents,
that's
because
exactly right.
once people become homeless and they're sleeping out rough, they then become sometimes a focus then
Yeah,
of the child protection department.
yeah,
And they're not bad people. They're not bad
yeah.
parents. They
No,
just can't get a home. They don't have anywhere
yeah,
to live. That
that's
shouldn't
right.
mean then that they have their children removed. It costs more to put children into state care than what it does to support a family to keep their children with them and give them somewhere to live. I
Yeah,
don't understand.
100%.
It's common sense, I would think. It's
And
And
that's one thing, yeah, we lack common sense.
yeah,
I agree, it does not make any sense at all. And some of these people that have found themselves homeless of late, they work, they've
yes,
got jobs. It's not like they haven't, and they just either their rent's gone up too much, or they just can't find anything.
yeah, yeah. I've heard stories of people who work, but they're living in
Yeah,
their car. They'll take
yeah,
out a gym membership just so that they can use the shower,
yes,
get some reprieve
yes,
from the heat. It's really scary when we have people working for a living and they can't afford a
yeah.
place to live.
I know, and that's pretty sad. As far as our society goes, is like really we've come to this. We need to do better.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, and
So what else? I think there's a consistent theme that we're all seeing across social media, and we're hearing in our, catch up with people for a coffee, and everybody's talking about the cost of living, the power costs, the health, the mental health. Um, where would you start? I mean, there's a lot of funding going into all of those
there is,
portfolios,
yeah,
a lot of money. So where do you start when we're continually putting more and more money into portfolios, but we're not seeing enough outcomes or quick enough outcomes?
yeah, true. I mean, like you said, it's a massive, massive job. Where do you start? You'd start. I mean, we'd have to multitask here, because you'd start with ending net zero. We've got so many resources, natural resources here in SA. We should be one of the richest states in the country, and we're not. And we need to access that to reduce our electricity. We need to have a look when it comes to aged care and mental health. Have a look at some of the facilities that we've already got that are underutilized. um, you know, fix them. Like the red tape that keeps stopping all these things going forward. And, you talk about something now, and then in 5 years' time, you're still talking about it. Nothing's been done. All that red tape has got to go, because that's what's holding us all back. And that's with everything. With education, we need to review, the curriculum and go back to basics. We need to support parents. We need to support our teachers, because, are they being taught correctly in how to control the classroom? Because we've got kids that, as we know, when they get bored and they're not stimulated enough, they play up and they disrupt everything. So you can't actually learn anything in class. Um,
And
God, where else
teachers,
do you
teachers
start?
have, I think the burden for teachers has grown over the years too, because, I think back to when I was at school and in primary school, you would go to school, the teacher, you were the center of their attention. It was
Yep.
nothing for the teacher to give you a hug and say, nice to see you today. And
Oh,
you went
yeah.
into class and you didn't have all the stresses as a child as what kids have today. Like
Yep.
there's so many kids now who have either trauma for one reason or another, uh,
Yep.
various disabilities, and all of a sudden teachers have not only become teachers, but they're like nurse for the day, therapist for the day.
Yep.
They're trying to parent where maybe some kids aren't getting parented. They need
Yep.
to somehow try to discipline without disciplining and being too tough, because then they get in trouble. They
That's
don't have
right.
enough support. The classes are, large number of children in the class. I think teaching is so different to what it used to be, and they have a lot of responsibility. And at the same time, there are probably cases where teachers haven't been fair and kids have been the target of things that they shouldn't have been.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
it's somehow, I think, relieving pressure on teachers, letting them teach and making sure they have enough support in the classroom to support them with the other things.
Yeah, and as parents, we need to start parenting. There's I'm not saying that obviously doesn't apply to everyone, but we have a responsibility. I mean, they're our kids, and we can't just let them, fend for themselves. In essence, like, we have a responsibility, and I think parents need to step up too. And you know, I know for myself, if I was advised that, my daughter was a bully, I'd be dealing with her myself. I would be blaming the other poor child or the parents or the school. That would be up to me and to my husband. And why I know you like sticking up for your child, but I always used to say to my daughter that, and my husband too, used to say, look, we can help you. We'll always support you, but you need to be honest with us, because we can't stick up for you and but then find out that you actually lied to us, because that just doesn't work.
And there's
Yeah. So as parents,
accountability.
absolutely,
Yeah, and that has to start
yeah,
at home, I think.
it does.
The discipline, the accountability, that starts at home. And once you ingrain that into your kids, they go, they learn as they're growing up, but they're going at the
Yeah,
school going that if they do the wrong thing,
yeah.
that there's probably going to be some kind of consequence.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. And I work with a guy who, when my daughter first started high school, and we all go through the homework saga. And because his wife used to be a principal at a primary school, and he said to me, "Try this." He said, "Now that she's in high school, just tell her that she's older now,
yeah,
and she knows what homework she's got, and we're not going to fight about it, and it's her responsibility. And if she's late, she's just going to have to face up at school." And you know what? It worked.
yeah.
It actually worked, whether she was late with some assignments or on time or whatever. And yeah, she did it, and we never fought, not once, about homework, and that was great.
I guess, when they leave school and they're working,
Yeah,
we can't ring the boss and say, look, we're really sorry, but she's
yeah,
tired and doesn't want to come to work today. But they somehow have to learn that um,
oh,
high school is like a rehearsal for adulthood, isn't it? It's meant
oh,
to get them
absolutely.
ready.
Yeah, absolutely. My daughter asked me, why didn't they teach us how to do our tax return in year 12, or how to vote?
Yep.
And I said, good point. I said, and these are things that I think, kids do need to be taught, because that's exactly what they're going to do as soon as they leave school, is find a job. And what are they going to do at the, 1st of July, every year, is do their tax return.
Yep. And well, for the last well, for quite a few years now, I've had a big interest in politics and voting, and learnt more about it because I didn't know a lot of it, and I found
No,
it entering my world. And even volunteering at polling booths and things for the federal election, I realised that there are so many adults that don't understand how to vote and
I don't.
how that whatever they put on that piece of paper, what happens
Yeah,
after you put the numbers on that piece of paper. So how can they teach their kids if they've never been taught and
they
they don't
can't.
understand it?
Yeah. Oh, I agree, 100%. 100, and no one really goes through and explains it. Everyone just assumes that that's what you do when you go and vote.
Yeah, and then I see over social media, people asking different parties, different candidates, where are your preferences going?
Yeah,
And when people say that to me, I always say to them, they go wherever you put them.
that's exactly right.
So you put
They're not our
number
preference.
one for
Yeah,
John Smith goes to John Smith. If your second
yeah,
favourite candidate is Mary Banks,
yeah.
that's your
So if
next
John
in
Smith
line.
doesn't get in, Mary gets in. That's exactly
Yeah,
right. It goes down the line.
right.
So, and that's what I've been telling. We've been, as One Nation candidates, we've been telling people that it's got nothing to do with the party itself. Those how to vote cards are there. One, legally, we have to hand them out. We have to give them to people, but they're just a guide as to how to vote, and it's all up to you. The preferences you pick. It's no one else. It's you. So
I think
um,
that's
but
what is a bit almost misleading is that
yeah,
when parties put out a how to vote, and especially if you have volunteers out there telling people you have to vote like this, have to vote like this. I had a few issues
yeah,
at a polling booth last year, and I'm not aligned with any party, and people take those cards and think Oh, so I have to copy that. That's what I have to do. We don't,
No, and
we get to vote whichever way we want to vote.
yeah,
It's
I know, and that's confusing because they see it written on, in print, but then you're telling them that that's not, you don't have to follow that. It's just a guide, but not everyone's going to do that, are they?
no, no. So, do you have any forums coming up or street corners, or how can people reach out to you at the moment and speak to you if they live in your electorate?
Oh, look, my phone number and email address are on my One Nation Facebook page. I've been handing out flyers. I've actually got my personal flyers delivered yesterday. So I walk around the streets. I walk around in shopping centres. Um, we get together the candidates that sort of we all border each other. We get together. And sort of in numbers. We went to the Christie's Beach Food and Wine Festival that was on last weekend on Saturday, and that was great. That was absolutely great. We walked around. Yeah, we had our orange t-shirts on so everybody could see us, and um, the response was fantastic. And people, we chatted to them. Um, we gave them. I've got actually quite a few t-shirts and baseball caps to hand out, and the vibe was just great. And they're the things that we try and do. We'll be going to the Old Ranella residents barbecue on Sunday afternoon. They're holding. There'll probably be about, I would say, over 1,000 people there. Maybe everyone's just getting together after. Yeah, they came together to fight against a factory that was going to be uh, put into their little residential area. They weren't happy about it. So, yeah, we supported them in that, and they've
So
invited us.
I've seen that pop up.
Mm,
I think on social media somewhere.
yeah, yeah.
So what is
That's
that?
huge.
So it's a factory being built in a residential area. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, the factory's there. So what it is, it's the old Hardy's winery, which has been closed for many, many years, and the original home is the heritage listed, but it's been allowed to just sort of wither away with the elements. And the they've released land around it for housing, and not cheap. I'm under the understanding it's not cheap. Um, and they were sold, the residents were sold a certain environment, parks, similar to what is at IGA Bowden. That's what they were sold when they were purchasing the land. Unbeknownst to them, the factory was actually going to be transformed into a plastics manufacturing the containers for food and medical supplies. And the reason the residents got upset is the council sent out public consultation, but they did 3 weeks before Christmas.
Mhm.
So no one's really going to take any notice. People are busy. Some people are already on holidays. And that's what they got annoyed about, because it was almost like between the developer and the council, they were just trying to sneak it through. And then when they started, when the residents got together wanting answers, they were given the runaround. And I know there's a lot of um, social media out there saying that they were aggressive and whatever. And they weren't aggressive. They were just angry that no one was responding. They didn't get anything from any of the MPs around the area, that Katrina and Nat Cook, and I think Erin was the other one. And no one will talk to them. And if they did, they were very dismissive. And that's what, got their backup, really. And look, together, they actually they actually won.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, so coming together like that really, I think they all just found it, they came together, they fought for something and they won. And that's how you get, people get things done. And unfortunately, it's unfortunate we have to get to that stage and get angry because no one listens to us. And that is another thing. A major thing that I've been hearing is no one's listening. None of the MPs are listening at all. And people are frustrated and they're angry.
Yeah, I think I posted something on my social media page yesterday around uh, how come people complaining about something wrong
Mm,
become the problem rather
yeah,
than the person who's done wrong.
exactly.
Um,
Exactly. Again,
yeah, yeah.
you
So,
know,
I
it,
know as an advocate
it,
for
it was,
blind people, I'm often seen as the noisy problem. Well, I'm not the noisy
oh,
problem.
yeah,
People are afraid to speak up, afraid to complain. And if they're complaining about something genuine,
yeah,
why are they the person in the wrong?
yeah,
Yeah, no, I can understand that.
exactly. And I think too, you'll probably we're what we're seeing and what we will continue to see is an increase in people voicing their their concerns. And if because for far too long we've just expected that whoever we elect will listen to us and will do good for the community, for the people. But it's just proven, not only this government but past governments. Everyone stopped listening, and that's state, federal, even local. No one's listening to anything, and they're just doing what they want. And then you pipe up and say something, and like you said, you're the whinger, you're the problem.
So,
When all
Katrina,
you
if
want
you're
is
elected,
yeah.
what will you do for your community? So, what will you be accessible? Will you'll talk to people? You'll meet with
All the
people,
time,
or
all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, I've communicating with and talking to the just the people, the residents. Um, Speak to me. If I've had heaps of them send me stories and say, look, how about this story on, kids or whatever. And like I've said to them, I've encouraged, I don't want them to hesitate to give me a call or send me an email and say this, that, and whatever. And I'll always listen. I'll make time because I can see it's not been done before. They've forgotten about us. And yeah, everyone's got my number. It's online. By all means, ring. And
Okay.
if I can't get to it right there and then, I will call you back.
Okay. So, if anybody's watching and they want to support you in return, what are the types of things they can do to help you out or support you?
Look, now volunteering. I've got flyers. There's not enough of them really, but I'll be getting some more. And just talking to people, talking to their own families, their own friends, and even if they want us to get together, even at a pub or a cafe or whatever, give me a call. I'm happy to pop in and sit and talk with you guys and have something to eat or whatever. I'm up for that because that's how getting together. And I think it's more personal. And yes, you know, some people say there's not enough time in the day. I just think we need to make that time, you know.
Well,
Um,
I have a personal view that my local MP should be available to my local community,
all
and
the time. Yeah,
they do work for us. They
but they've
voted to
forgotten
represent
that.
our voice, and I think to have members of parliament who immerse themselves genuinely in the community, not just when they want something from me,
Yeah,
uh, and turn up and have tea at a venue
yeah,
or something and
absolutely.
tell people, hey, in a few weeks' time, let's all catch up, let's book some tables or put on a community barbecue for people to catch up. I don't think there's enough
Exactly.
engagement with the community.
No, no, it's like it's pretty much become non-existent, and I have heard many people say that they've approached their local MPs either by phone or stepped into the office, and they keep getting referred to somewhere online. Everything you need's online, and it's like, well, that's not what they've come for. You know, they want you to guide them and tell them in person, not just oh, here's the website, the website or the email address you need to be. You know, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I will upload the video to YouTube and I will put your contacts for your social media and website on there.
Oh,
So
thank you. Yeah.
if anybody wants to reach out and support you or give you their opinion, they
Yeah, absolutely. Like, go for it. Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
all right.
Whether it's good, bad, indifferent, you know, all of it's welcome.
Yeah. All right. Nice to meet you, Katrina.
Thanks, Lisa.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye.